My name is Celeste, and at 49, I've come to understand that life seldom offers a second opportunity to reshape your narrative, particularly when you're wed to a man who seems satisfied to float through each day like a specter in his own existence. In a humble town nestled in Ohio, I share my life with my husband, David. He often boasts about his dedication as an engineer, yet the reality is that most evenings find him comfortably ensconced in his recliner, seemingly indifferent to the world around him, with little evidence of genuine effort or enthusiasm. His indifference lingers like a subtle ache, a constant reminder that as I diligently manage our home and uphold a rigorous workout regimen, he remains ensnared in the monotony of his own existence. On a brisk Thursday evening, tensions reached their peak. Another argument erupted between us, ignited by a raised voice over something trivial, such as who neglected to pay the electric bill, and quickly spiraled into a torrent of long-held grievances. I erupted, unable to contain the pent-up frustration that had accumulated over the years. With every ounce of disdain I could gather, I expressed to him that his absence of presence and fervor rendered me utterly invisible. David's expression shifted, shadows crossing his features as he wordlessly exited the house, leaving me in the doorway, caught in a tumult of anger and relief. In due course, I discovered that he had departed for a few days to seek refuge with a friend, a fleeting retreat that appeared to align perfectly with his enduring tendency to evade genuine confrontation. In the stillness of our tranquil abode, an uncommon feeling of freedom enveloped me. At last, I found the room to inhale deeply, to reconnect with the woman I used to be before the passage of time in marriage dimmed my spark. Rather than languishing in isolation, I chose to indulge myself. Donning my favorite jeans and a chic blouse that highlighted my figure, I set out for a local bar I had frequently passed but never ventured into. Uncertainty lingered in my mind, yet a deep yearning for transformation stirred within me, a desire for the thrill that had faded from my existence. On that evening, the bar buzzed with energy, alive with the gentle murmur of conversation, the rhythmic clinking of glasses, and the alluring strains of music that created an atmosphere both soothing and enticing. Seated at the bar, I requested a glass of refreshing white wine and allowed my thoughts to drift as I savored each sip. It didn't take long for me to spot him, a young man radiating an unmistakable aura. He was known as Zane, a dedicated fitness coach at the gym located merely a few blocks from my residence. With his deep bronze skin and a physique honed by relentless effort, Zane radiated an essence of unrefined masculinity. His muscles undulated beneath the snug fabric of his t-shirt, each motion a quiet declaration of his power and dedication. He moved with a magnetic allure, his confident stride and piercing gaze causing my heart to flutter in ways I hadn't experienced in years. I observed him sharing laughter with a circle of friends, his charm captivating them with ease. His smile radiated warmth and invitation, and I found myself captivated by the intricate details of his appearance. His chiseled jawline and the sheen of perspiration on his skin conveyed a sense of vitality and fervor. He seemed to personify all that was absent in my existence: vitality, passion, and an eagerness to embrace each fleeting moment. I edged nearer to the bar, engaging the bartender in light banter about the latest in local sports and fitness, while my eyes frequently darted toward Zane. As the evening unfolded and the soft warmth of the wine enveloped me, I found the resolve to draw near to him. With a playful smile, I introduced myself, remarking on how fortunate the gym was to have such a striking coach. Zane's reply was refreshingly genuine. A hearty laugh and a kind word that sent a rush of warmth to my cheeks, despite the fact that I had long mastered the art of concealing my weaknesses beneath a facade of cleverness and charm. Our conversation meandered through a tapestry of topics, ranging from our preferred exercise routines to the intricate nuances of life in Ohio. As I reflected on my daily life, I began to share fragments of my routine, those invigorating early morning runs, the intensity of my fitness classes, and the weariness that had settled in from the unfulfilled promises that lingered at home. The dialogue flowed seamlessly, rich with laughter and a mutual recognition of embracing life to the fullest. In his eyes lay an undercurrent, a flicker that suggested a deeper truth, something illicit yet irresistibly captivating. In that instant, I understood that my husband's absence had carved out a realm for passion I believed had vanished for good. His presence sparked a flame within me, a vivid reminder of the woman I used to be, a woman who understood her desires and boldly pursued them. As I stepped out of the bar that night, a thrilling blend of excitement and anticipation coursed through me. A fleeting vision of a life brimming with vibrancy and audacity washed over me, and I realized, with unwavering certainty, that I would not resign myself to an existence stripped of fervor. That evening, the seeds of something fresh and exhilarating were planted, and as I strolled home beneath the cool night sky, a smile crept onto my face at the possibilities the future might bring. Unbeknownst to me, my chance meeting with Zane would ignite a journey that would test the very foundations of my beliefs regarding love, fidelity, and the quest for genuine happiness. In the days that ensued after that electrifying first meeting, I discovered myself gravitating back to the gym, not merely for my usual workout regimen, but as an excuse to catch another glimpse of Zane. I had always taken pride in maintaining my fitness, yet now each stretch, every set of weights, was infused with an exhilarating excitement. I intentionally selected courses where Zane would probably be overseeing, carefully placing myself within his orbit. My heart raced as I observed him leading a group session, his commanding voice slicing through the atmosphere, his deep bronzed skin shimmering beneath the gym lights. With each demonstration of the exercise, his sculpted muscles flowed with a captivating confidence that drew the eye effortlessly. On a certain morning, following an invigorating spin class, I found myself lingering by the water fountain, nonchalantly fanning my damp hair. There he stood, mopping the sweat from his brow with a towel, his broad shoulders and sculpted arms prominently showcased. I welcomed him with a radiant smile, a smile that hinted at something deeper than a mere courteous greeting. "Well done today, Zane," I remarked, allowing my voice to convey an implicit praise. His eyes, rich and expressive in their deep brown hue, locked onto mine with a spark that made me feel seen, truly seen, in a way I had long yearned for. He responded with a nod and a gentle, grateful smile that sent waves of anticipation coursing through me. In no time, our exchanges wove themselves into the fabric of my daily life. I began to synchronize my gym visits, hoping our encounters would become more regular. During one of my visits, as I was immersed in my workout on the elliptical, I noticed Zane's reflection in the mirror behind me. For a fleeting moment, our eyes met, and the intensity of his gaze rendered my workout a mere distraction. His approval washed over me, a heady sensation that was utterly captivating. I discovered that I was striving with greater intensity, not merely for the sake of fitness, but to validate my existence, to seize his gaze. Each repetition, each step pulsed with an unspoken intensity. In the moments I found myself away from the gym, I crafted reasons to linger in his presence during more relaxed occasions. One late afternoon, I wandered into the local cafe that Zane occasionally visited during his breaks. I placed my regular order, a vanilla latte with a whisper of cinnamon, and settled into a spot that allowed me to watch him discreetly. I observed him engaging with the barista, his laughter resonating with warmth and invitation, while his easy demeanor conveyed a deep sense of self-assurance. A smile crept onto my face unbidden. Before me stood a young man, a vibrant embodiment of vitality and passion, everything I yearned for but had long believed was absent from my monotonous life with David. As I settled back into the familiar confines of home, with David preoccupied at the power plant and ensnared in his own indifferent routine, my thoughts turned to devising plans to reunite with Zane. At times, I would prepare dinner, labeling it as meal prep for the next day's workout, all the while anticipating a fleeting text or a casual message from him. These exchanges often masqueraded as fitness tips or compliments on my progress. One evening stands out distinctly in my recollection. I departed from the house at dawn, asserting a need to attend a late workout class. Instead, I found myself in the gym's parking lot, waiting in my car, my pulse quickening with every passing minute. I was aware that Zane's shift was drawing to a close, and I felt a strong urge to intercept him on his way home. As destiny would dictate, he stepped out of the building just as the heavens started to tint with the hues of dusk. His silhouette captivated the eye, a harmonious fusion of power and elegance, each muscle sharply outlined beneath the waning glow. We shared a few words, engaging in light, almost playful banter about the day's workout and the weather. Yet, hidden beneath the veneer of that seemingly trivial exchange, I sensed the gradual emergence of a deeper promise. His touch was fleeting yet charged as we shook hands, and as he turned to leave, I hesitated for a moment, my gaze following him until he vanished from view. The exhilaration of that meeting left me dizzy with eagerness and a yearning for more instances of intimacy. Later that night at home, as David tended to his familiar weariness and muttered something unintelligible about work, I found it impossible to dispel the vivid recollections of Zane's assured gait and the lingering warmth of his smile. I paused my usual tasks, a sense of urgency washing over me, eclipsing any desire to clean or cook. Instead, I lingered silently by the window, a glass of red wine cradled in my hand, revisiting each encounter in the theater of my thoughts. The unwavering cadence of my heartbeat, the gentle murmur of the surroundings, and the anticipation of our next encounter ignited within me a bold determination. I was acutely aware that I was navigating perilous territory, yet for the first time in ages, a sense of vibrant aliveness coursed through me. A small, defiant notion started to take root in the recesses of my mind, softly murmuring, "What if this is merely the outset?" The idea of encountering something so genuine, so profoundly essential, compelled me to arrange for a more personal gathering. I resolved that when I next encountered Zane, I would not merely accept a passing greeting or a nonchalant grin. I would extend an invitation for a meaningful dialogue, one that could foster the intimacy we both yearned for in silence. As I surrendered to slumber that night, my mind danced with a myriad of possibilities. I envisioned secretive looks exchanged in the stillness of a gym locker room, the sound of laughter mingling with the clinking of smoothie cups after a workout, and soft, audacious caresses that hinted at unvoiced commitments. The path before me was shrouded in uncertainty, and the excitement of this fresh bond was tinged with the shadows of potential betrayal. Yet the very notion of it, the boldness of chasing something so thrilling and taboo, sent my heart into a frenzy. On the brink of a profound change, I found myself embarking on a journey toward passion, liberation, and a depth of connection that promised to rekindle a flame I had believed was long gone. With the dawn of each new day, the allure of Zane's presence grew stronger, pulling me further into a realm where every instant brimmed with the possibility of both joy and transformation. In the days that followed, the hidden energy sparked during my covert gym meetings with Zane blossomed into an allure that was impossible to resist. Each morning, I rose with an acute sensitivity to the slightest changes in my existence, feeling the quickening pulse of my heart at the mere sight of his name lighting up my phone. The exhilarating rush that coursed through me upon glimpsing his sculpted features on my social media, and the tantalizing promise of our next clandestine rendezvous. I started to organize my days around our meetings, intricately blending them into the tapestry of my daily life, so that even the most ordinary tasks felt charged with a thrilling sense of secrecy. One afternoon, as I completed my post-lunch yoga session at home, a text from Zane arrived, sending a shiver down my spine. A straightforward communication. "Until next time?" accompanied by a playful wink. A smile crept onto my face. His effortless charm had transformed into the hidden rhythm of my existence. I responded with a hint of playfulness, consenting to rendezvous at a secluded cafe close to the gym, a spot familiar only to an exclusive circle. That meeting stood apart from our typical gatherings. His eyes held an unspoken urgency, a flicker of anticipation that hinted at a depth of intimacy far beyond our brief encounters at the gym or the casual conversations over coffee. We nestled into a secluded nook of the cafe, shielded from the curious gazes of the usual patrons. Zane's dark bronze skin appeared to shimmer in the soft light, and his muscular physique, accentuated by the snug fabric of his athletic attire, exuded a primal confidence that I had yearned for over time. He absorbed every word as I shared fragments of my day, expressing my exasperation over David's constant absence and the tedious routine that defined our life together. I spoke plainly, devoid of any trace of regret in my voice, as I recounted the hollowness that enveloped me when he came back, offering nothing but a cursory nod and a handful of half-hearted justifications. My voice, though composed and calm, held a sharpness, a quiet defiance born from years of disregard. Zane's reply was straightforward, yet deeply moving. He leaned closer, his breath a gentle caress against my ear as he murmured his understanding of the hunger within me, confessing that he had witnessed the light dim in my eyes and yearned to rekindle it. In that electric instant, the ordinary cafe backdrop faded into oblivion, his hand, rough and powerful from countless hours of training, softly grazed mine, as if binding us in an unspoken agreement. An intense wave of longing washed over me, a tantalizing hint that this evening could finally bring forth the fervor that had eluded me for far too long. That evening, with David still off on his interminable quest to find clarity at a friend's abode, I devised a meticulously crafted reason to step outside the confines of the house. Adorned in an elegant ensemble that highlighted my femininity, I ventured to a quaint, upscale hotel on the fringes of town, a discreet setting where our secret rendezvous could take place away from prying eyes. The room we selected exuded an understated elegance, with its gentle lighting and soothing melodies weaving a cocoon of intimacy. In this secluded space, far from the scrutiny of a society that anticipated my role as the obedient spouse, I surrendered to the fervor of my own longing. Zane acted swiftly. He advanced, his eyes fixed on me with a fervor that sent my heart racing. Every inch of his body, the taut muscles of his arms, the powerful contour of his chest, and the confident set of his jaw, seemed to resonate with the woman I had evolved into. A woman who has grown weary of a life stripped of fervor. He bridged the gap that separated us, and with a sequence of measured, unhurried gestures, our dialogue transformed into something tangible. The memory of his hand resting on my waist lingers, the warmth of his skin against mine, and the spark of desire that flared to life, rekindling a fire I believed had long been snuffed out. It transcended the mere physical act of desire. It was the cathartic eruption of years devoted to suppressing a blaze within me. The meeting was marked by a delicate warmth intertwined with an intense fervor. Our actions flowed with a certain grace, a rhythm meticulously crafted through months of unspoken desire. We swayed in a rhythm of hushed confessions and breathless sighs, each instant layering upon the previous one until all that lingered was the unfiltered, undeniable essence of our bond. In the embrace of his powerful arms, I found myself adrift, captivated by the intensity of his dark eyes as they sought out any flicker of doubt within mine. Regret had no place here, nor did the luxury of second thoughts. In that moment, all that existed was the now, filled with the vibrant fervor of the desire we were bold enough to delve into. As the night deepened, the remnants of our closeness remained palpable. I reclined, enveloped in a fog of satisfaction and a profound, echoing lucidity. After years of feeling invisible, I finally experienced the warmth of being seen and desired, a stark contrast to the cold, indifferent routine I faced at home with David. In the quiet moments before dawn, as I collected my thoughts, it struck me that I stood at a crossroads. The excitement of this encounter transcended mere fleeting distraction. It marked a revelation, a daring leap into a life where my true aspirations could at last shine brightly. The recollection of that evening lingered in my mind as I resumed my everyday life, igniting an insatiable curiosity about the possibilities that lay ahead. With every meeting with Zane, I felt the layers of mystery unfold, drawing me deeper into a journey that held the allure of great delight intertwined with unavoidable repercussions. Thus, each day transformed into a meticulously orchestrated performance, where I maneuvered through the mundane duties of existence while quietly fostering a fervor that demanded recognition. The exhilaration of his caress, the fervor of our hushed revelations, and the luminous anticipation of our forthcoming encounter wove a tension that throbbed just beneath the surface, transforming each second into an enticing overture to the unfolding possibilities ahead. The fateful night descended, enveloping the world in a tension so palpable it resonated in the stillness preceding dawn. Following our passionate rendezvous at the hotel, I found myself nestled in the cool sheets beside Zane, his powerful embrace lingering around me, as if he were reluctant to release his hold. The fervor of our secret meetings resonated in every part of my soul, a heady mix of yearning and freedom that had at last broken the enduring dullness of my existence with David. I relished every hushed syllable and every prolonged caress, fully aware that this transcended mere physical release. It was a proclamation of the woman I had long been compelled to conceal beneath the weight of obligation and scorn. The hours drifted away, marked by the gentle echoes of our shared happiness, until an unforeseen noise broke the delicate closeness. I stood still, the unmistakable sound of a key turning in the lock resonating through the room. My heart raced, and an icy tremor coursed through me. In that electrifying instant, every fiber of my being shouted that the reality I had meticulously crafted was on the brink of collapse. Zane's body stiffened next to me, his deep-set eyes probing mine with an unspoken urgency. I wrapped the blanket more snugly around us, focusing intently on any additional hints of an unwelcome presence. The door groaned as it swung ajar, revealing the dimly lit figure of a man standing in the corridor. My pulse thudded in my ears. It was David. David entered the room with deliberate slowness, his face a mask of neutrality, while his eyes concealed the tumult that surely churned beneath the surface. For years, I had brushed aside his inattentiveness and dismissive demeanor, cloaking my feelings in a blend of scorn and icy detachment. In that moment, as he remained rooted in place, his features etched with a profound sense of bitter acceptance, all the grievances I had ever harbored surged to the surface within me. A peculiar sense of fulfillment accompanied his quiet entrance, a testament that the emptiness he had so thoughtlessly cultivated was now being enriched by something far more essential than his indifference had ever allowed. I observed him absorbing the tableau laid out before him, Zane, partially enveloped in the gentle radiance of the bedside lamp, and myself, suspended in the tumult of our fervor and the jarring clarity of the moment. For a fleeting instant, David's eyes betrayed a tumult of emotions, hurt intertwined with anger, but he remained silent. Instead, his jaw clenched, and with a measured, purposeful motion, he pivoted on his heel and exited the room, the sound of his footsteps lingering as a testament to his quiet exit. The atmosphere in the room was thick with the remnants of passion, a charged blend of unfiltered longing and the looming gravity of repercussions. Zane's hand extended toward mine, his touch cautious and filled with worry, and in that simple act, I experienced an overwhelming sense of validation. In his eyes, I recognized the same intense fervor and gentle warmth that had captivated me from our very first encounter. In that moment, there existed neither blame nor recrimination, only the raw, unvarnished essence of our bond. As the minutes elongated into an endless expanse, the rush of adrenaline gradually surrendered to a serene clarity. I perched on the edge of the bed, my heart racing, granting myself a fleeting moment of reflection. In the stillness that followed, memories flooded back of the countless moments when David's indifference rendered me unseen, a persistent echo of the sting of being overlooked. His quiet departure served as both retribution and freedom. It highlighted a reality I had been aware of from the very beginning. I was deserving of far more than a lifetime filled with hollow assurances and monotonous patterns. I had experienced the blaze of true passion, and there was no turning back. Taking a calming breath, I faced Zane once more, his eyes locked onto mine, reflecting a mixture of comfort and desire. In that gaze, I glimpsed a future that was at once unpredictable and brimming with potential. I came to understand that our relationship was not just a transient encounter born out of convenience, but rather the flame that had rekindled a part of me I had long believed to be extinguished. I yearned for something beyond these fleeting instances. I longed for a life in which my aspirations and yearnings were acknowledged, cherished, and satisfied. As the first light of dawn gently seeped through the curtains, I stirred from my slumber. Zane lay beside me, his robust, sun-kissed figure offering a soothing sense of security as he remained lost in slumber. I lingered in that stillness, the memories of the night before dancing through my thoughts. I understood that the journey before me would be laden with challenges. David would ultimately unearth far more than merely his own void, and the repercussions could prove dire. As my hand rested softly on Zane's arm, a wave of resolve washed over me, banishing any trace of regret and igniting an unwavering commitment to reclaim the life that had slipped away. In the days that ensued, I embarked on a journey to reshape my very being. I seized every chance to encounter Zane once more, rendezvousing with him subtly at the gym or in dimly lit bars where our conversations could flow uninterrupted. I moved through the world with a fresh sense of assurance, igniting a defiance against the ordinary, a declaration of my inherent value. David's absence transformed from a mere void into a poignant reminder of the emptiness he had vacated, starkly contrasting with the vibrant, passionate connection I was nurturing. I share my narrative not to cast blame, but to remind every woman who has ever felt unseen or unfulfilled that life is fleeting and should never be spent settling for anything less than what truly ignites her spirit. This is an invitation to embrace your deepest longings, to have the courage to love, and to honor the fierce, undeniable passion that breathes life into your existence. Throughout my journey, I discovered not just forbidden pleasure, but a liberation that reshaped every facet of my life. Despite the uncertainty that lies ahead, I am determined to embrace it with the fierce, unapologetic passion that has come to define my very essence.